Or we're going to begin sitting. However that's comfortable for your leg. And start to draw some circle with your diaphragm, the base of the ribs, around the pelvis. And so you're concentrating on that part of the body, the diaphragm, but let the rest of the body swallow, new word, follow smoothly. Feel the natural curves and arcs. And notice if there's some noise in the spine, the neck. And let yourself smooth out. Smooth out the wrinkles. Other direction. Smooth out the crunchy feeling. And just enjoy that smooth movement. Nice work. And back to center. We'll take the arms up as you breathe in. And as you exhale, a little bit of a forward bend and arms forward. And arms up. Little bit of a forward bend. Exhaling. And again, find a smooth flow. Beautiful. Let's swap the cross of the legs if you've got them crossed. And let's do that same thing, arms up, but we'll go side to side. So you might notice at first some awkwardness, but let's find smooth feeling, the smooth flow of the breath. And that feeling of being tuned into the core of the body so that you can feel the support. Nice work. And back up to center. Great. And coming into an all forward position. Arching the spine up and down. Feeling any tightness along the spine, little creaks and crunches. Then focusing on the smooth flow of movement and breath. Good. And then from just moving the spine up and down, let's make it a spinal wave movement. So bend your elbows. Let your back have more room to move. So a waving movement, or you might be looking up at the lower back, arch down. Think caterpillar. Focus on the smooth flow of your breath. Nice work. Back into all fours. Tuck the toes under. Lift the knees away from the floor. See if you can keep going with little spinal waves, but with the knees just away from the floor. And now the work gets harder to do. See if you can keep that feeling of the smooth flow of breath. Nice work. Release knees to the floor and take child's pose. Mm. Mm. Good. Arms out in front, forward virasana. Lift up onto the left fingertips and look under your left arm. Lift the left. Good. And then back to center. And then we'll lift up onto the right fingertips. Look under the right. I'm going to go from side to side. And again, finding a flow or smoothness to the movement. Appreciating that at first, and especially if you've had a couple of weeks off like I have, that there might be some crunchiness, some feeling of stiffness in the body. Let's look for the smooth. Nice work. We're going to come back to center and up into downward facing dog pose. Let's take the left heel down to the floor and we're going to hold that there for a little while. The right leg is bent. Stretch the fingers out wide, press the fingerprint. And allowing that big stretch in the back of the left leg. Giving into it. Keep moving the chest towards the front of the leg. Feel broad between your shoulders. So there's that sense of ease. Let's do the right heel. Press the right heel down and we're going to hold it. Notice the resistance. But in that big sensation, look for the detail of how you're holding your hand. How you're opening the chest and the shoulders. Good, and let's try both heels together, pressing down, lifting the sit bones, letting the head relax, letting the neck relax. Good. Let's bring the shoulders forward over the wrists. You can take a bigger distance by walking the feet back if you need to. Good. You can always put your knees on the floor if you need to, holding plank position. Look forward, lengthen the lower back, really engage the quadriceps, so lift the quadriceps. Finding a smooth flow, even though the body might be shaking. That's fine. Good. And then we'll rest into child's pose. Check in, see how your hands and wrists feel. Give them a nice squeeze and release, squeeze and release. Resting your spine. Letting your back feel broad as you enjoy the weight of the shoulders, the length of the neck. flow of the breath. Take your hands behind you from here. We're going to interlock the fingers and walk your upper arms back as far as you can. So feel broad across the collarbones. Stretch the knuckles back. Good. And then lift up onto the top of your head and lift your knuckles up towards the ceiling. So you can take the knuckles back, stretching the shoulders nice and wide. Breathing. Mm. Mm. Good. And then release back into child's pose and relax your hands again. Just letting go. And that smooth breath. The feeling of letting your body relax. Good. And then we'll do the other side. So interlock the fingers behind you again with the other index finger on top. Oh, reach the upper arms back. So wiggle them back. Nice and broad across the collarbones, the front of the ribs. Reach back with the knuckles. All right, so we tip forward a little bit, weight on the top of the head, and lifting the knuckles. Reach them back. Try to make more space from the ears to the shoulders. You'll feel the core of the body engage as you lift. Good, and then releasing. Completely relax your hands, your arms. Feel the smooth flow of breath. The broadness of the shoulder. Nice work. Take the arms back to the front of the mat. Good. This time we're going to take the elbows down onto the floor. Walk your knees so they're about hip width. Good. Take your chest back towards the front of the legs. So big stretch for the shoulders. And just identifying in your body where you might feel tight or your body wants to resist this movement. Maybe it's your shoulders or your neck or chest. Appreciating that resistance, but also allowing a smoothness into your body, into your attention on the breath. Good, and then back up into downward facing dog pose. Let's do the right heel down first. We're going to hold that for a few breaths. Broad across the chest, between the shoulder blades. Stretch the fingers out wide, press the fingerprint. Really allow that stretch in the back of the leg. Good, and then let's do the left. So left heel down. Letting go of resistance. Good, and then both heels down. Oh, nice work. We're going to walk the feet forward towards the hands and roll up. Standing up in our new lounge room. Unfinished. Tadasana. Feet under your hips. Feel the power in your body to lift the front of the legs, the belly, the breastbone, to reach down with the shoulder blades, the tailbone, the heels. Feel the ease of your neck balanced. Strong arms rolling out. Feel the purpose of this body to stand with strength and ease. to support the breath. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up, reach up, look up, skyward. Good. And then we're going to come into a halfway uttanasana. And I say halfway, so I want you to try and keep your spine relaxed or not making a rainbow shape. So you want to feel the muscle either side of your lower back. It's not tense. Got the little back bend. Good. Now reach down and hold the back of your legs as far as you can with your hands without straining your back. So keep nice and relaxed either side of the lower back. Beautiful. Bend your knees a little bit and reach down a little bit further. Good. And then try and straighten one leg and hold that intense feeling. And breathing. So even though it can be intense, we're keeping the lower back relaxed. Good. And then bend that leg and straighten the right. And keeping a focus on the smooth flow of breath. And releasing that leg. And rolling out. Arms up, look up. Beautiful. Good. Arms up. And then we're going to roll forward again into that halfway forward bend. So really focus on keeping your lower back nice and relaxed. Relaxed is the wrong word. Not tense. Okay. Hold the back of the leg, bend the knee. All right. We're going to try and make a little squat position. So start to lower your sit bones towards your heels. You won't go all the way. Maybe some people will. Good. But then we're going to straighten the legs, really focusing on the lower back and keeping it stress-free. But let all that intense feeling be in the back of the leg. Good. A little bit of a squat feeling again. And then straighten. Beautiful. Relaxed in your lower back. You're looking forward. Chest feels broad. One more. Squatting down. Good. And then straightening your legs. Beautiful. Bend your knee. Inhale. And rolling up. Look up. Nice one. Tadasana. Inhale. Arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. Uttanasana. Great. Let's take the left leg back. And we're going to have the legs straight, but maybe we can't quite get them straight at the moment. Have your left heel on the floor. Okay, so we're aiming for straight legs, but bend your front knee to start with. And when you bend your front knee, try to find that more relaxed feeling in these muscles either side of your lower back. So fingertips either side of your front foot. Look forward, lift the torso so you can find that easier spine. Press your back heel, really straighten the back leg. Good. And then we're going to explore straightening the front leg. That feeling of an intense stretch. But feel the smooth flow of your breath. Nice work. Now we're going to balance on the front foot. So bend your front leg, lift your back foot up off the floor. You can keep your hands on the floor. Good. And then try straightening that front leg. Stretch back through the left leg. Keep the hips level to the floor. We still have that ease in your spine. Look up. Look forward. Nice. Now we're going to lift up. And if you can, swing the left leg forward without touching down. But you might need to touch down and step forward. We're lifting up, swinging the left leg forward. And you can put your tiptoes on the floor. You can lift your knee higher. Maybe even hold your knee, or some people might be holding their foot. And finding your wobbles, which are the greater part of balance. Ah. And put down into Tadasana. I was thinking about those scales, the old-fashioned ones for weighing one thing against another, and they go up and down. Mostly they're out of balance. There's only a moment, there's only one precise moment when they're actually balanced. It's all that other bit that we're exploring, the wobbling bit. So have feet underneath your hips, Tadasana. Arms up, look up. Beautiful. Uttanasana. So remember, as you do that, you keep that sense that you're really aware of an ease in your lower back. You're not straining it by poking all your bones up to the ceiling. Beautiful. Step back with your right foot. Okay, we're aiming for a straight leg position here, but we'll need to keep the front leg bent to start, but get your back heel to press down on the floor. So only have a big enough distance that you can do that. From side to side, got to say this on the first side, your feet are about hip width distance. If they're in a line or even crossing, you're going to have worse balance. Also, it's more wearing on your joints. So try for that hip width distance. Good, and we'll be on the fingertips and we're going to look forward. Keep bending your front leg until you can find more ease for your spine. That might be quite bent. Press your back here. Good, and then we're going to explore straightening the front leg, but without straining your lower back. Look for that big, intense feeling. But notice the smoothness, the satisfaction of breath. Oh, beautiful. All right, we're going to keep the hands on the floor and we're going to balance on the front leg now. So bend it as much as you need to. We're going to lift the right leg and keep the hips level to the floor. Lift the right leg high, stretch back through the toes, but keep the hips level to the floor. Feel that straightening of the front leg. Look forward. Nice work. Can you lift up and swing the right leg forward? Difficult to do. You might have to put the right foot down on the floor. Now, when you get the right foot in front, you're either resting with your tiptoes on the floor or lifting your right knee. And you can hold your knee. You can hold your foot if that's where you're at. Mostly you're exploring your balance. Those adjustments and readjustments to keep you standing on one leg. Feeling the shoulder blades reach down, the top of the head lift. And enjoy. Enjoying the breath and the feeling of being at home in your body. Even when it's wobbling, especially when it's wobbling. Feet underneath the hips. Inhale, arms up, skyward. Uttanasana, easeful spine. Good, we're going to hold on to something, legs or toes or back of the heels. Good. Squat down just as far as your knees allow. So try to keep your heels on the floor. You can let your knees out wide. Good, look forward. Good, now holding on to your whatever you could reach before. We're going to straighten the legs back into Uttanasana. Press the heels down and see if you can keep your spine feeling nice and easeful. Good, and then bend the knees and inhale and coming up. Good, let's do that again. Find a handhold, Uttanasana, nice easeful spine, and then try and squat down. Try to keep the heels on the floor. Ooh. Tricky to do. Bring the chin forward. Good, and then straighten your legs back into your Uttanasana. And release. And all the way up. Beautiful. We're going to lay down now, and we're going to lay down onto our tummies. Our collective tummies. Elbows under the shoulders. Legs hip width or parallel. So we're in a Sphinx pose with the elbows under the shoulders. Stretch your fingers out nice and wide. And lift the breastbone. Draw the shoulder blades back. Good. Press the tops of the feet down, lift the kneecaps, and squeeze the buttock muscles. For some reason you find this too hard on your back, then you could have your hands out further in front so that it's not such a big angle. You take straight arms. From the elbows on the floor, we're going to press into the hands and start to lift the elbows. And if that, again, is too strong on your back, then don't lift the elbows. Some people might find straight arms feels all right on their back. And keep the shoulder blades reaching back. We're looking up. Keep the buttock muscles squeezing. How can we remember everything? Good, and then lay down. And when you lay down, turn your face to one cheek. Take your arms back beside you. Oh, and just relax. My favorite part of these poses is letting go. And this time we're going to take the forehead to the floor. Keep the arms back beside you. We're going to press the tops of the feet again, lift the kneecaps, squeeze the buttock muscles. Lift the breastbone again, the torso, and lift the arms reaching up, fingertips reaching back. Good, and then lay yourself down again, turn your face to the opposite cheek, and just relax. Ah, finding that deep breath. Great, hands underneath the shoulders, and lift yourself up. And we're going to come into a seated position. Whatever is comfortable for your legs to sit with a straight spine. Now, lean over to your right side. Take your right hand out. Maybe you rest on your elbow. It depends on how comfortable it is for your spine. So again, we want to find that easy feeling in the spine. So no need to overdo this. Move to where your movement takes you. We'll try to keep the left sit bone down. The left side of the body tends to want to follow, but we'll try to keep that anchor down. Good, and we're going to turn the torso to look up towards the ceiling and take the left arm over by the left ear. Oh. Draw the shoulder blades back so the neck feels long. Feel all those places in the body that really resist. Just feel a little bit stiff, like they haven't moved for a little while. And find your smooth breath. Letting all the awkwardness and ease. Just be good. And then we'll lift up and change the cross of your legs if they're crossed. Good. And then we find a hand position out to the left or even elbow, but just watch the right side of the body doesn't lift up. So we try to keep anchored down there. Good. And we're turning the chest face skyward. Good. And then right arm by the right. Good. Take the shoulder blades back to keep the neck long. And exploring that feeling. It being awkward. Find where the body wants to open and lengthen. And inhale. Coming up. Good. We're going to take a little balance on the blanket for boat pose. So just make sure you're comfortable doing that onto your blanket. Hands holding the front of your knees. Let's explore with the feet on the ground, just finding the best shape for the spine. So where your lower back feels most supported and the core of the body's side core, the front core of the body, they're all working to support that healthy feeling in your spine. And can you feel that the chest is broad and spacious? There's plenty of room for the lungs. And the neck is relaxed. Great. You want to keep that good feeling in your spine. And let's just tip our weight back a little bit so the feet are off the floor. As you go, still keeping that good feeling for your spine. Yeah, and then that's the main part of this posture, is really working on that great feeling for the spine and using the whole core of the body to support. But you can keep making the posture, let's say, heavier for the spine. So if you release your hands, then it's harder work. So you have to work the core of the body more. But if it's too much and your back starts to become uncomfortable, go back to where you can hold that easeful spine. Good. You might even be able to lift your feet up a little bit. The more you lean your torso back, the stronger the work for the core, but we're keeping that easeful spine, really healthy feeling. Good. And then release. I like to try and hold the front of my legs and lift my spine as long as I can get it. Beautiful work. And then we're going to lay down. Arms out from your shoulders. Inside edges of the feet together, knees together. Lift the hips and take them right. And we'll take the knees down to the left. And you did. Okay. We're going to use the core of the body again by lifting the feet just off the floor, just even a millimeter. Use core awareness. Try and lift the knees just a millimeter off the floor. Beautiful. And then release your legs back down onto the floor and just let your body melt into the Ah, even your neck, even your shoulders. Now, bring your awareness back to the core of your body so that as you lift your legs, you feel like your spine is really supported by all this wonderful muscular strength. Good. Back to center. Arms out from the shoulders. Lift the hips, swing them left, and the knees go right. Ah. Okay, now to use the core awareness, we're going to lift the feet just shy of the floor. It's only a millimeter, but we're doing that using the whole core, not the shoulders, if you can avoid it, not the neck and the throat. And the knees, just a little bit away from the floor. Mm. Mm. Ooh, and then relax your legs back onto the floor. Really relax the whole body. Good. And then using your core awareness, we're going to lift the legs back up to center. You feel the strength available there. Nice work. We're going to stretch the arms overhead and really relax the head and the neck and the shoulders. But bring the elbow out from the shoulders, the elbows at 90 degrees. And you try to keep the elbows and the backs of the hands on the floor. So I know a lot of people have trouble with that alignment. And then go back to straight. We're trying to keep the elbows and the backs of the hands onto the floor. You can do this standing against the wall. It's harder to do, but let's try it here on the floor where we can get a better access to the movement. You can keep your legs bent, or you can try with straight legs as well, which might make it a little more difficult. See how you go. So back to straight, and then elbows out at 90 degrees, and we try to keep the backs of the hands and the elbows on the floor. It can be really tough in the shoulders. All right, now let's just relax. Keep elbows are out from your shoulders, 90 degrees, and the forearms are 90 degrees to the upper arm. Cactus arm. Good. Let's just bend the legs in, and I'm gonna just let the lower legs or the knees hang in towards the chest. How'd you go keeping your arms in that position? Maybe the backs of the hands have lifted away from the floor. But as much as we can, we're trying to keep that alignment. Elbows, backs of the hands, back of the head, back of the shoulders in one plane. Even though there's some awkwardness, if you can release a little bit of tension, not holding so hard. Good. And then release and relax your arms. Good. And we're going to take the legs out straight and just lay for a moment as if in our relaxation. Take some deep breath. Feeling yourself supported. Connected by the breath, the earth. You need to finish your practice. I do. Bending in your arms and your legs and rolling to your right side. And when you're ready, come up to sitting. Your hands in front of your heart. Feeling your breath. Take the feeling of the practice with you. Namaste. Thank you, everybody.